Pat LaMarche, global warming, how big a threat on a scale of 1 to 10?
I think Chandler's next.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Chandler Woodcock.
Thanks, Pat.
You're welcome.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it was probably a 5 in my estimation. I believe that the public has to have some humility when it comes to global warming and the impact that the state of Maine can have with over 1.3 million people on global climate change. However, I believe we can be setting an example by supporting conservation measures in our state facilities and encouraging conservation in the private sector also. Clearly, in my mind, the best way to stop energy costs, to encourage energy reduction, and to limit our dependence on foreign oil is to conserve energy. So in my opinion, a little humility is needed when it comes to the impact that the state of Maine will have on global climate change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Barbara Merrill.
Thank you. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think that it's a 10. We are overdue, and we have got to run about as fast as we possibly can to get it done. It's the governor's responsibility to develop an energy policy, a comprehensive energy policy, and send it to the legislature for adoption and stick to it. I believe the science of global warming, and that's why I don't believe that we have the luxury of turning our nose up at the proposed wind farm in western Maine. And I'm the only candidate up here that fully supports it. We need to use tax policy to further incentivize energy efficient construction, rehabilitation of existing buildings. We're going to need a mix of renewables, hydro, wind, solar, and hydrogen fuel production.
Thank you very much. John Baldacci?
It's a 10. There's no question about it, and I don't know why everybody seems to fight it, especially at the federal level with the Bush administration. They don't see the opportunities there are. There are challenges, sure, but there are so many opportunities. Folks, we need to be energy independent, renewable energy. We need not to have foreign policy dictated by having the oil or not having the oil. We need to recognize it's in our national security interest. Maine is working with the Northeast. Maine is agitating to get action out of the federal level. Maine has signed on to the Apollo alliances. If we can put a man on the moon in 10 years, we could be energy independent in 10 years, renewable energy. We're developing a wind power project in Mars Hill. We're actually building the component parts to that windmill in Newport. We're looking at developing a composite material to manufacture the blades for those windmills. There's several wind power projects ongoing in Maine, tidal, solar. Energy, the whole area is a huge economic development opportunity, and I just think that we can do good by the environment, we can do good by the economy, and also our health care. Environment is such a huge impact on our health care, our asthma cases, the metals, the leads, the mercuries, the toxics. I mean, by being smart with this, we can actually help ourselves in so many different ways, and we can showcase ourselves to the rest of the world because they look to the United States for that kind of leadership.
Thank you. And now Pat LaMarche.
Thank you. Leadership doesn't have to come from any place. Leadership in and of itself is a value, and if Maine shows leadership, that's, I think, contagious. I believe that it's a 10, unless we could put an 11 on the scale. I had the opportunity to go to Louisiana last year and stay down there in Baton Rouge, and then eventually down. After Rita hit, I went down into New Orleans. If we don't start understanding the detriment that we have been to the planet, we will never have an understanding of how to do anything about it. We're fossils, you and I. We live in a time period that's unique to a few generations, and people will be able to tell what time we lived in by the things around us. Because never before, the few generations before us, and not after the generation following us, will anyone be able to waste energy the way we do. Will anyone be able to be so wasteful and so consumptive as we are now? We have to go on a diet. We have to conserve. We can invest $300,000 in photovoltaic cells or $300,000 in compact fluorescent bulbs. The investment in the bulbs will yield 32 times as much energy as the generation from the photovoltaic. We do have to go to alternative energy, but we have to look at conserving. And then I think we should really be leaders. I think Maine should sign Kyoto. I think we should say, okay, federal government, you're not there for us. We're going to sign Kyoto and watch the other states do it too. Thank you.